9 ideas. 9 ideas written down and crossed out in the same weekend. This is Tom, late on a Sunday night, staring at a notebook page that looks less like a brainstorm and more like a crime scene. 2 days ago, this weekend was supposed to be different. Saturday morning, coffee brewed, laptop closed on purpose, this one was going to start on paper. Tom sat down at his desk and wrote a single word at the top of the page. IDEAS. Then he waited for one to arrive. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Nothing. Not one idea worth writing down. Just a pen, a blank page, and the particular kind of silence that shows up when you're trying too hard to be brilliant on command. Tom had shipped code under pressure before. Deadlines never scared him, but this, sitting alone with an empty page waiting for inspiration to knock, this was a different kind of hard. He wrote something, crossed it out. Wrote something else, crossed that out too. By 11 a.m., the page had 4 dead ideas and a coffee ring. Then, finally, something clicked. A habit tracker. Clean, minimal, no bloated features, no annoying streak-shaming notifications. Just a simple app that respects your time. Tom could already see it. He could already feel the relief of finally having his thing. He opened his laptop, started sketching the app's screens, named the project, even picked a font. For about 2 hours, Tom was unstoppable. Then, just to double check, he searched the App Store. Habit Tracker. 240 results. Some with 5-star ratings. Some with slicker designs than what he'd sketched. Some already doing the exact minimal, no bloat thing Tom thought was his angle. The excitement didn't fade slowly. It just switched off. Why would anyone use mine instead of the ones that already exist? He closed the tab, then the laptop. The habit tracker joined the folder of 11 other day 1-inch projects. Day 1 and also apparently day last. Sunday, Tom tried again. An app for freelancers to track invoices. Great idea. Until 20 minutes of searching turned up a dozen invoicing tools that had been doing it for years, with teams and funding and reviews Tom's solo weekend project could never compete with. A recipe app for meal prepping on a budget. Already exists, a dozen times over. A tool to help photographers back up client shoots automatically. Tom actually paused on this one. It hit close to home since he lived that problem himself. But one search later, 3 well-funded competitors, one of them with a Y Combinator badge on their homepage. By Sunday evening, the page that started with one clean word, IDEAS, looked exactly like the one we started with. 9 ideas. 9 ideas crossed out in the same afternoon. We're caught up. Here's the part Tom didn't notice yet, even though it was happening right in front of him over and over. Every single idea died the exact same way. Idea. Search, competitors exist. Give up. Idea. Search, competitors exist. Give up. Not once did Tom talk to an actual person. Not once did he ask a freelancer what their invoicing headaches actually were, or ask another photographer what backup tool they'd tried and hated. Not once did he look for a gap. He was only ever looking for a void, an empty, uncontested space where nobody else had ever built anything. And empty spaces like that don't really exist, not for anything people actually want. Every good idea already has competition. That's usually a sign the problem is real, not a reason to walk away from it. Tom didn't quite see that yet. Not fully. He just felt tired and a little embarrassed and very aware that his weekend had produced nothing but a ruined notebook page. Sunday night, Tom sat there wondering if maybe he just wasn't cut out for this. Maybe some people are builders and some people are finders of ideas, and he was only ever going to be the first kind. Outside, his car sat parked under the streetlight, the one thing in his life that reminded him he could commit to something and see it through once it mattered enough to him. Maybe apps just don't matter enough. Maybe I'm looking for the wrong thing. Or, and this thought was quieter, easy to miss, maybe he'd been asking the wrong question the entire weekend. Not what hasn't been built yet, but what are people actually struggling with right now? Tom is a solid engineer. Give him a spec, and he'll build it well. But nobody had ever handed him a spec for this, for figuring out what to build in the first place. That wasn't a coding problem. It never was. He didn't have an idea yet, not a real one, but for the first time all weekend, he wrote down something that wasn't a product name. He wrote, "Stop guessing. Go ask people." It wasn't a breakthrough. It wasn't the $1,000,000 idea he'd spent the whole weekend chasing, but it was the first honest thing he'd written down since Saturday morning. Next episode, Tom puts the notebook away and does something that scares him more than any blank page ever could. He actually goes and talks to people about their problems. If you've ever crossed out 9 ideas in one weekend, you already know exactly how Tom felt.